Hello, my name is Ayano. Today I'm going to talk about fast fashion, its negative aspects, and what we can do. Firstly, let me tell you my story. Sewing got me interested in fashion industry. I had a lot of free time during the pandemic, so I started sewing for fun. I made these scrunchies, but I'm not good with my hands, so making even these scrunchies was kind of difficult for me. Then I had simple questions. How are our clothes made? Who does make our clothes? Where do clothes come from? So I've searched about fashion industry, especially fast fashion, and I was so shocked at negative aspects of fast fashion. As the first step, let me explain what the fast fashion is. Fast fashion is a term used to describe a highly profitable business model based on replicating catwalk trends and high fashion designs and mass producing them at low cost. And then what's the problem? Fast fashion is pretty common today, but people who make the clothes are working under terrible conditions. And the industry has negative impacts on our earth. Firstly, the biggest issue of fast fashion industry is poor working condition and exploitation. The condition of garment factory is terrible. In fact, garment factory disasters occurred in Bangladesh and Pakistan. In Bangladesh, Dhaka garment factory collapsed on April 24, 2013. It was a structural failure, and the tragedy killed over 1,100 garment workers and wounded over 2,200 more. As well as in Pakistan, around 300 people died in fire at garment factory in 2012. The building had metal grills on the windows and no fire exits, so 100 people were trapped inside the building. In addition to poor work environment, garment workers have suffered from low wages. People who work in garment industry are underpaid, and only 2% of them earn a living wage. It means almost all of them don't make a living with their job. And one more issue of exploitation is child labor. The International Labour Organization estimates that 170 million are engaged in child labor, with many making textiles and garments to satisfy the demand of consumers in Europe, the US, and beyond. Child labor is a particular issue for fashion because much of the supply chain requires low-skilled labor, and some tasks are even better suited to children than adults. In cotton picking, employers prefer to hire children for their small fingers, which do not damage the crop. Even worse, children don't have much knowledge to claim their rights and don't have much power physically, so they are easy targets. The second biggest problem of fashion industry is pollution. The fashion industry produces 10% of all humanity's carbon emissions, which is the second largest consumer of the world's water supply, and pollutes the oceans with microplastics. The industry has hurt our earth a lot. So now, what can we do to save our planet and the laborers? And I have 3 ideas. The first recommendation is shopping at second-hand stores. There are many used clothes out there, so we don't have to buy brand new clothes. And it would be like a treasure hunt and more fun to find nice used items than shopping at general brand store. Therefore, I recommend used clothes instead of fast fashion. The second recommendation is simple: buy less. The world now consumes about 80 billion new pieces of clothing every year. This is 400% more than the amount we consumed just 2 decades ago. And we also discard it at a shocking pace. Do we have to have clothes this much? Do we really need this amount of clothes? The answer is no. So when you buy new clothes, please make sure whether you really want them and you will take good care of them. Don't be influenced by trends and commercials too much, and just have what you really like. The third recommendation is ethical and sustainable fashion brands. Ethical and sustainable fashion is an approach towards sourcing, manufacturing, and designing clothes which maximize the benefits to the industry and society at large. At the same time, minimizes the impacts on the environment. For example, Patagonia is widely known as an outdoor and adventure wear brand that leads the way on taking care of our earth. Not only Patagonia, there are so many ethical and eco-friendly fashion brands. I don't think my recommendations are hard to try, and I think what's important here is that each person takes a small action even if we cannot save labor and protect the environment directly. If you want to know more about fast fashion industry, I recommend that you watch The True Cost, which is a documentary movie. It shines a light on how the fast fashion industry depletes the earth's resources and leverages slave labor to pass on a cheap cost to the end consumer. In my opinion, taking advantage of fast fashion is not wrong behavior as a person, especially for young people like me, don't have a lot of money, so fast fashion brands that provide us cheap and trendy clothes are kind and attractive. However, they are kind only for consumers and they are not kind for the laborers, and they don't consider the negative effects on the earth. And that's what I want to tell you most in this video. So after all, no matter how much it costs, the important thing is using the clothes you bought as long as possible. Instead of the people who buy clothes only for trend, spreading awareness and increasing the consumers who can cherish what they got could lead to better future for everyone. Thank you for watching.